couple things. In terms of U.S. foreign policy.
Stop supporting Israel! Stop supporting Israel!
Well, I wanted to ask you the question today. Will you tell us, the Congress and the American people, whether Israel in fact possesses nuclear weapons?
You know that's a question that they've never acknowledged to have a nuclear program. If there were more Israels in the Middle East, more countries like that, the world would be a safer and a better place.
So Marco Rubio just admitted that he's a cuck for Israel. I'm not kidding, you guys. He literally gave a thumbs up when someone called him that. But I also want to talk about something that just happened during a House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing. Texas Representative Joaquin Castro asked Rubio about Israel's rumored nuclear program. And Rubio proved once again that he can't answer a basic question about Israel without squirming and deflecting. So let me break it down for you. Rubio was grilled at a recent House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing on the risks of the Iran-Israel war, and Representative Castro asked him about Israel's alleged nuclear arsenal and the impact of this war on U.S. interests. Now, Rubio did acknowledge that most of the world believes Israel has nuclear weapons. However, he totally sidestepped and said he'll only give the full answer behind closed doors in a classified setting. Let's watch this.
Will you tell us, the Congress and the American people, whether Israel in fact possesses nuclear weapons?
You know that's a question that they've never acknowledged to have a nuclear program. People can have, as you know, an open source and other reporting suspicions about what they possess. If we're speaking frankly, I think most of the world assesses that they do, but they've never acknowledged that publicly, and as a feature of our foreign policy for a variety of reasons, we don't discuss it in that way either.
Well, I guess a few things. This is the first time, especially for an extended period, that we are at war with an ally, Israel, against Iran. And we have service members deployed. And we don't, if they in fact possess nuclear weapons, and you're right, in open source reporting that has come across, we don't know what their red lines are for using those nuclear weapons. And so I guess I'm shocked that our government wouldn't make an effort to know, to understand, and then to give our oversight body the information that we need to make decisions about the war as well.
That's a fair observation, and I would answer that if perhaps you make that request and you're open to it being answered in a different setting other than a public
classified setting? A classified setting?
Yes, and both classified and sensitive. And if we could, I think you would get a better response to your question if the context in which it was answered were framed differently than a public letter for a variety of reasons. If we're being mature and grown up here, I mean, foreign policy, and I know that you are, and you, from the tone of your question, it's clear that it's a serious question. These things require delicate balancing acts between different equities, but I think you can get probably a more fulsome answer if we were to be able to respond to that inquiry in a different context, if that makes sense.
So let me translate this for you. Rubio is never going to meet with Castro privately to answer those questions. He has to play dumb in public. That's the deal he made. And you just gotta follow the cash to see who controls Marco Rubio. Let's start with AIPAC. According to the AIPAC tracker, Rubio's taken over $1 million from AIPAC and their allied groups since 2010. And that actually puts him in the upper tier of Congress members getting pro-Israel money. Not the absolute top, but he is definitely up there. But that's just the direct contributions. The real money comes from the billionaires, people like Miriam Adelson. Now, you remember we talked about her before in other videos on Israel. But for those of you who aren't familiar with Miriam, she's one of the biggest Republican donors this country has ever seen. And her late husband, Sheldon Adelson, actually wanted Marco Rubio for president back in 2016. And then when Sheldon died in 2021, Miriam took over the checkbook. And according to Forbes, her net worth is estimated at $36.4 billion. She's also currently ranked as the richest Israeli in the world. She actually became the richest Israeli during COVID, but that's a rabbit hole for another video. So when Trump was running for the second time, it was reported that Miriam dumped over $100 million into his campaign. However, Trump later said she actually gave him $250 million. Check this out.
Miriam gave my campaign indirectly and directly $250 million. She was number one. When somebody can give you $250 million, I think that we should give her the opportunity to say hello. And Miriam, make it quick, because $250 million is not what it used to be. Okay?
I met Alan Dershowitz, and he said the legal thing about 4 more years. And I said, Alan, I agree with you. So we can do it. You were thinking,
She said, think about it, I'll give you another 250, but
I really did.
Trump also joked that Miriam and Sheldon had visited the White House more times than anyone else. And he admitted that the Adelsons were the reason he moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem.
I kept my promise and officially recognized the capital of Israel and moved the American embassy to Jerusalem. Isn't that right, Miriam? Look at Miriam, she's back there. Stand up, Miriam. Stand up. Miriam and Sheldon would come into the office. They'd call me. I think they had more trips to the White House than anybody else I can think of. Look at her sitting there so innocently. But they were very responsible for so much, including getting me thinking about Golan Heights, which is probably one of the greatest things to ever happen.
So yeah, this woman personally pushed for Marco Rubio to become Secretary of State. And wouldn't you know it, he got the job. Okay, now here's something crazy I have to show you. Back in 2015, Trump tweeted this: Sheldon Adelson is looking to give big dollars to Rubio because he feels he can mold him into his perfect little puppet. I agree. So there you have it. They're openly telling you Rubio's a puppet. And a puppet does whatever the owner wants. That's why Rubio will never answer those questions on Israel's alleged nuclear program. He doesn't operate on his own. He's a cuck for Israel. And he's not even embarrassed about it. Look at this.
You're a cuck for Israel! You're a cuck for Israel! You!
This dude is literally proud to be a puppet. Now let me play you another clip that ties this all together. This happened back in March when Rubio was on Capitol Hill talking to reporters about the war with Iran. He said Israel was going to attack Iran, and he admitted the US knew about it. And he also said that they knew Iran would retaliate against American forces. Not Israeli forces, American. But then the next day, Trump tried to clean it up and claimed he made Israel attack, not the other way around. So then Rubio changed his tune and tried to walk it back. A reporter asked him about what he said the day before, and Rubio snapped at him and literally lied in this reporter's face. You have to see this.
We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked
okay.
a question.
No, were you the one that, because somebody asked me a question yesterday, did we go in because of Israel? And I said, you were asking me that, that follow-up. And I said, no. I told you this had to happen anyway. The president made a decision, and the decision he made was that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ballistic missile program, that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ability to conduct these attacks. That decision had been made. The president systematically made a decision to systematically destroy this terroristic capability that they had, and we carried that out.
So which is it? Did Israel drag the US into war or not? Rubio said it with his own mouth, but then he lied about saying it. And he knows the recording exists. He knows that everyone can go back and check what he said, but he's still gonna lie and gaslight you every single time. Now let me show you what this war has cost so far. According to a Harvard report, the war in Iran costs America $2 billion every single day. And it's estimated it'll cost at least $1 trillion overall. So let me leave you with this. Marco Rubio is literally proud to be a cuck for Israel, and then lies to your face on camera about Israel's war that you're funding with your tax dollars. So is this the America First they were talking about? But before I wrap this up, I need to show you something that should honestly terrify you. Israelis are not pushing for Marco Rubio to run for president in 2028. Let me show you this tweet from this user who claims to be a former Israeli soldier. It says, I hope Marco Rubio follows Trump and is the next US president. He has been a loyal supporter and friend to the state of Israel through thick and thin. I think he will do well in every department for Americans and Israel. Let's hope he will run. We don't need Vance. He's anti-Semitic. And now you have all these other Israeli accounts posting about Rubio, praising him, saying he's the best Secretary of State in US history. I don't know you guys, but I wouldn't be surprised if Miriam Adelson is funneling money to influencers to astroturf Rubio as popular and make him the candidate for 2028. But let me know what you think. Is Miriam wasting her money? Does anyone associated with this administration even have a chance of winning in 2028? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget, you always gotta question everything.